Alright guys, so in this session we are going to discuss about the BRICS Summit 2024. So the Iran's president have actually met the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and have discussed about the dollar domination and other things. So in case if US is imposing sanctions on any country, there is no point in that country having huge forex reserve in terms of dollar. For example, India accumulating the forex reserve, and mostly the major chunk of that is actually in terms of US dollar. So imagine all of a sudden, you know the fact that India is a very good friend of Russia and supporting Russia. So despite the fact that overall we have a neutral stand, but still we are a very good friend to Russia, and Russia is also a very good ally or friend to India. So in that context, if there is any such sanctions which is going to be imposed on India by US, there is no use of dollar, right? So see guys, again the thing is that we have already discussed about this in the morning, and here also I'll be quickly discussing about that, especially in the context of Iran's president meeting with the Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi. So here BRICS Summit 2024, it's actually by mistake I have mentioned that 2023. So the meeting is going on and let's get into the discussion. So here guys, if you see original members, it is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Okay, so these are the 5 member countries, and then new additions. Iran is a member now, so don't be confused. Iran is a member, Egypt is a member, Ethiopia, UAE have recently joined the BRICS alliance, and in fact invitation have been sent to Saudi Arabia also, but not yet have joined in this group. So the potential member Saudi Arabia has been invited but hasn't accepted the membership yet. Possibly in future Saudi also will be part of BRICS. So bilateral meetings has happened during the BRICS, and there was a meeting between Modi and Xi Jinping, Chinese and as well as Indian, and then there is a better, there are some good improvements in the relation between India and China, and Russia is basically playing a very big and good role in that. Okay, so Modi-Putin meeting was also there, and that is again focusing on strengthening India-Russia ties. And South Africa, okay, South African president also met with Modi. So there were bilateral meetings with China, Russia, and South Africa, Iran, etc. Okay, so in that context only, I am discussing about Indian Prime Minister and Iran's president's meeting. Okay, so if you look at recent tensions, Iran's supreme leader compared India to Gaza, and that have drawn significant criticisms, and we have also replied to that. Look at your own population, look at your own countries and how they are suffering and all those things. We already done that video on that also. But again guys, India, Israel have very good relation. At the same time, India is also having huge economic interest on Iran, and we have the Chabahar port and everything in Iran, and we have a very big economic interest. And at the same time, when it comes to crude oil, we are very heavily relying on Iran as well. So diplomatic efforts. Modi meets Iranian president, to review and deepen the bilateral ties. And economic interest, India's development of Chabahar port and potential oil imports from Iran. That's actually the economic side of the meeting. And Iran stands on BRICS. This is the one which I want to discuss. In fact, I've done this in the morning itself, that US dollar dominance. Iran basically calls for BRICS countries to resist US dollar dominance in global trade. Okay, so again, Iran seek India's help in reducing tensions in the Middle East region. And Gaza conflict, Iran criticizes Israel's action in Gaza and Lebanon, calling for intervention. Now, if you look at the BRICS countries' stands on Israel, China clearly and definitely against Israel. Okay, Russia against Israel, and we already discussed Iran against Israel, and we already clearly discussed about a potential formation of a new bloc where China, Russia, Iran and North Korea come in one side. What is the stand on India? India is actually neutral, right? So South Africa strongly against it and filed case in international court also. Okay, so these countries are actually against Israel, and Brazil recalled ambassador from Israel. So all these are, if you look at the initial members of BRICS countries are strongly against Israel. Only India is actually maintaining neutral stand and a very good relation with Israel. Okay, so that's why Iran specifically want to convince India and India's support. So India's diplomatic position, neutral stance. India maintained neutrality in Israel-Palestine conflict, unlike other BRICS nations. All the other countries, Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa, are strongly against Israel, especially when it comes to Gaza. Or China and Russia against it very clearly and standing with Iran. Okay, so China's in fact still not yet into the picture, but there is like a wait and watch game. But it is very clear that if something is there, China will definitely stand with Russia. Okay. Balanced relation. India maintains a good relation with both Israel and Iran. I told you, with Israel we have very good relation, cooperation is there, and with Iran also we have in terms of oil, in terms of development of Chabar port, and we have a very good economic interest when it comes to Iran. So India's investment is also there in Iran. Economic interest. India considers potential benefit from Iran's oil if sanctions are basically lifted. We can import huge amount of crude oil from Iran, and that can potentially benefit us in a very good way. We get the cheap crude oil also. So US dollar dominance challenge, we discussed this in the morning in detail. The current dominance US remain the primary global reserve currency, and wherever you go, it is accepted, and that universal acceptance is there, and this is the most strong currency in the world at this point of time. Okay, BRICS cooperation. BRICS nation consider alternative to reduce dollar dependence, but I have already discussed about the challenges for this new currency concept in the morning itself, so I'm not repeating the same. And if you look at India's approach, India adopt a wait and watch strategy regarding this, dollar dominance. Now, when it comes to US presidential election impact in this, Kamala Harris is actually losing that, popularity or the chances of winning the election, and Trump is gaining that ground for winning the election. And when it comes to Trump's dollar policy, Trump actually wants of sanctions on countries who's abandoning the US dollar. Okay, now India-China border talks, we discussed this again in the morning. There was a bilateral meeting between India and Chinese President Xi Jinping, and they discussed the border issues at in depth, and they decided to maintain the 2020 position along the border. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's what I wanted to discuss. So just wanted to update that meeting of the bilateral meetings between the countries during the BRICS Summit. So see you guys in the next session. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next session.